There's something truly special about minivan camping. It's the freedom to explore, the comfort of a mobile base camp, the ability to chase adventure wherever it leads. And this time, that adventure is calling me deep into the heart of winter. This trip, it's different. There's more in my mind than usual, something that goes beyond these snowy roads and icy trails, something that's going to change everything for me for a while. But first, I need to see what this little van can really handle. It won't be easy, there will be obstacles, fallen trees, hidden dangers, maybe even a surprise encounter or two. But that's what it's all about. Pushing forward, finding a way, discovering that perfect spot to hunker down against the cold and get some peace from the storm. Camping area number 1 is not going to happen today. There are trees down all over. Just the weight of the ice has bent over these trees. So the trees are not exactly broken, and for that reason, I don't want to use my chainsaw to cut them off of the road, because I feel like when the snow and ice melts, that these trees will probably stand back up straight. I did a pretty decent job of cleaning that solar panel off earlier, but there was about a 1/4 inch thick chunk of ice on there. I don't want to bang on it like I bang on the metal components to get rid of it. That road back there was a little narrower than some of the other roads that I camp on. So I'm hoping that if I can get to one or more of the other roads, that this minivan camping trip will turn out to be a success. Normally I don't camp in the snow, but this is gonna be my last camping trip, possibly for the next month or two. I've got a medical procedure coming up that is gonna potentially put me out of commission. And although that operation is gonna put me out for a little bit, I am excited to get it done. I've had a couple of issues with my fingers and stuff over the last couple years. Getting this double disc replacement and triple vertebrae fusion in my neck hopefully will get me back to feeling in my fingers. That's something that's impacted my quality of life for the last couple of years, is just not being able to control my pinkies, my ring fingers, and my middle fingers like I used to. And then on top of that, I've experienced some pains in my funny bones, believe it or not, where I turn my neck a certain way and my funny bones just, they get squeezed or activated by that movement. I know it's gonna limit my mobility in the future, but I'd rather be pain-free and be able to control my hands than have 100% mobility, which is already limited anyway in my neck. I am still a little nervous about it. If you look into the procedure for what that entails, they go in through the front, they do all the work, then they patch you up, then they hold you for a day or two for observation, and then they release you. So very interesting. I love this place right here. I want to show you guys real quick. This is an old abandoned house. It's on the National Historic Registry. Very beautiful home. I pass it every once in a while. I'd really love to make a video about it. But if you notice, it has several fireplaces. That spot was built over 100, I think even like 150 years ago. One of the first houses in this area. I think in the last 20 years, there have been plans to rehabilitate it. But even with those plans, it just never worked out for whoever was going to do that. Now it's kind of sitting there rotting and rotting. The roof isn't in great condition, and so it is eventually going to probably collapse. So today's the day that we find out whether or not the all-wheel drive on the Sienna is as helpful as it's cracked up to be. And this road I come down every once in a while. I haven't had any problems out here, but I've honestly never been out here with the snow-covered road. And I probably shouldn't have chosen to go with my white tripod to match with my white phone to get these cinematic shots out here in the forest in the snow. So there is a truck, believe it or not, out here. Probably somebody hunting, and so I don't want to hang out where someone else is hunting. So that is something to worry about out on these forest roads. This is public land. Generally speaking, Hunting does not happen in the darkness hours, so I'm safe to sleep throughout the hours of darkness. I don't want to camp where someone else is hanging around doing their own thing. There's plenty of room out here in the forest. I think the main thing here is to get to a place before sunsets. That way I can really just cook a nice dinner, read my book, and get some sleep. I'm at another road here and there are no tracks in the snow yet. And so I'm pretty confident that unless there's someone that's been holed up out here since before the snowstorm, that I'm probably safe to go back here and be the only person back here. I am making my own fresh tracks as we speak right now, leading me to believe that there's probably no hunters out here. In general, there's nobody out here camping. There are a lot of folks that camp out in these spots. Everybody thinks they know the secret spot, but if you have the right maps and you know how to do the research, you can find these spots very easily. If I can't find a better spot later, I will circle back to this spot, which is nice and flat. In fact, some chucklehead left a chair out here, so you know the phrase, something really grinds my gears, and that's finding trash out here. I wish folks would just come out and not bring any trash and leave it. So I'm basically hitting the golden hour right now. The sun is about to set on me, but this is a beautiful and perfect space for me to set up my camp for tonight. Now there is one more site down the road that way. I might go scout it out. I've got a little while before the sun sets. Go check it out and make sure that there's nobody there. I know I didn't see any tracks coming in, but if there is somebody there, I just want to make them aware that there's somebody else out here. I'm far enough away from that other site that if there is somebody there, I would feel comfortable camping here without interfering with them or bothering them. And you can see that's my tracks coming in, and there's no tracks going that way. So fresh snow. If there is anybody over there, hopefully they are not frozen stiff. And of course, at this spot, somebody left this gallon of motor oil, and there's about a quart in the bottom. That is, of course, assuming that whatever's in there is oil and not something else. And this spot is just as beautiful as the other spot. And in fact, this one is at a dead end. So most likely any vehicle traffic that will come down here will come from this road right here. I'm probably 5 miles in any direction from a town or anything like that. So absolutely perfect place to camp this evening. The low is going to be about 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that I'm no longer running around, starting to get a little chilly. So let me get my jacket on so I can retain some of my body heat. And this is a beautiful jacket, except for one thing. There's one thing I don't like about it, and that's this Sherpa material. Although this Sherpa material does an excellent job of keeping me warm, on some of my darker shirts, which I like to wear, you know, black t-shirt, something plain, nothing too fancy. And when I wear those shirts, that gray material kind of gets on them. And then I have to deal with that gray fuzz all over my shirt for the rest of the day. As I'm looking at the mess in my minivan, something just came to mind. Although the fridge says 35 degrees on it, I wouldn't be surprised if the stuff inside is frozen solid. Other day planning this trip, I put my steak and my butter and my veggies in the refrigerator. I had it packed up ready to go. That first snowstorm hit, and I didn't want to be some knucklehead out on the road wrecking or getting stuck in the snow where I become someone else's problem. So I waited until today to come out, and the highs have been in the 20s the last couple of days. So I'm worried that whatever's in there is just frozen solid. And tonight's low is supposed to be around 30 degrees. So I opted not to bring the diesel heater. I feel like with my sleep system and with that heated blanket, the diesel heater is probably overkill. However, I did let my batteries get a little low. I started this trip with 53%. I drove for about an hour. I got about another 20% back in my Blue Eddy here. And so that should be just about enough power to get my dinner cooked. Woo, I'm in luck. Look at that. Nice and soft. And of course the onions are frozen solid, but this is what I have, so let's cook them up. So on tonight's menu, I have, of course, the onion medley. That's onions and just some green peppers and red peppers. And then I have these beautiful portobello mushrooms. The thing that has worried me kind of the most since I've been out here is that there's a lot of ice. In fact, out here on these trees in particular, a lot of the icicles have fallen off, but I was a little worried about the icicles hanging from some of these trees falling on me while I was out running around and doing my other stuff today. I chose to cook everything outside, but every once in a while, the wind and the breeze will just funnel all of that smoke directly back into the minivan. It took me about 20% of the battery to cook that complete meal. And if you do the rough math on that, that's about 1 hour of driving to make one complete meal. The coffee maker takes somewhere between 2 and 4%. Now that doesn't take into account the fact that I have a separate battery that I want to run the heated blanket off of. Between those two devices, I should be okay staying pretty warm and having a full belly while I sleep tonight. Got a drink, some nice water there. And now got my golden brown steak. I thought I heard, and it's kind of early for this in the day, but I thought I heard some coyotes yelping a few minutes ago. Those veggies are perfect. And the way I cook this steak, I put about a tablespoon of butter in it. And the ends of it are crispy. The inside is nice and juicy. So I told you guys what I have going on next week. That's actually in about 3 or 4 days. So by the time this video gets published, I'll be essentially getting ready to go get that surgery done. Last week, I intended to go to CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Symposium 2025. And my goal with that trip was going to be to just check out the latest tech for 2025, particularly when it comes to these small off-grid power solutions, Blue Eddy, EcoFlow, Pcron, Anchor, all those companies that I review the power stations for. I enjoy reviewing those power stations. I really enjoy putting them to use. So where I'm cooking my dinner, all electric, no gas, anything like that. And these things are, theoretically, most of them are reliable up to about 10 years. So while the upfront cost might be a little more than like a lead acid battery, the long-term cost is much cheaper. So I'm also kind of at a crossroads on what I want to do with this channel. I hit 100,000 subscribers a few months back, and that was something that I never expected to happen as fast as it did. I've absolutely loved this journey so much, and I don't want to stop. I do have this operation coming up. I know I keep mentioning that. That's on the top of my mind. I mean, that's something that, you know, for example, I normally shave. I haven't been able to shave because they told me don't shave for 10 days before the operation. And in fact, when I took a shower today, I grabbed my razor almost subconsciously. Luckily, I stopped myself before I started, but I almost just would have shaved without even thinking about it. And the process to get where I'm at right now with the doctors and everything has taken me several years, because in the last 7 years, I've moved, I think, 7 times. And that is not just, you know, local moves. Those are cross-country moves. And so now I've been settled here for about 2 years. And it took that long from when I got here to get a physician, to get all the testing done. And I had the testing done previously, but when I moved, all of that testing essentially was no longer accepted by the new network. It's very complicated, and I'm just glad to be where I'm at, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get, at the end of this, some of my feeling in my fingers. And so I used to love to play the guitar. I love to edit the videos, but it's just been getting, you know, more and more difficult, where a lot of times I find my fingers just kind of like this when I'm working, because these ones are just so numb. I don't want to rant on this topic. It's just something that's been in my mind, and I do want to start getting settled in. The sun will set soon, and so I'll read my book, and then I will get some sleep. I just took my last break outside before I lay down, and the moon on the trees with the icicles in the background is just an amazing sight. I've got my heated blanket set on high, and this thing has a timer that goes for 12 hours. On high, it does pull about 100 watts, and so I will turn it down once I get cozy. And this blanket is already starting to warm up, so let me get under it. This blanket is just so comfortable, nice and warm. It still feels like it's probably about, both of my sensors are inside of the vehicle, and it shows 42 or 44 degrees. So it's really not that cold. If it gets too cold for this heated blanket in the middle of the night, I have that really nice sleeping bag. I also, obviously off of camera, took off some of my clothes. I think it's finally time for me to get some shut-eye. This trip has been a much needed break, and I'm ready to get that surgery knocked out so I can get to healing and see what the future holds. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you on my next adventure.